research paper. First and foremost, I would like to thank our founder principal, Dr. J.C. Purswani, and IQAC coordinator, Dr. Khushbu Purswani, for always encouraging and motivating us to take up this kind of sessions for the benefit of the student fraternity. I am very much thankful to Professor Nitin Kulkarni sir for accepting our invitation on such a short notice and readily agreeing to guide our students for the subject operations research. Sir, you would be glad to know that we circulated the invitation just a few days back, and within a span of 24 hours, we have received more than 600 to 700 registrations. So I'm sure you must be also happy to know that we are able to reach so many students at one go. Talking about sir, I don't think sir needs an introduction, but he is a very senior faculty. Professor Nitin Kulkarni is a senior faculty. He is having more than 20 years of rich and vast experience. Sir has authored the book Operations Research, which is published under Vipul Publications. Sir has been the ex-HOD of BMS department with Viva College between the period 2013 to 2022. Sir is also been the ex-university chairperson and paper setter for OR subject. So, sir, basically OR as a subject is one of the most dreaded subject amongst the students. And I am very happy that today we are able to reach so many students across the city that we'll be able to guide them through you, sir. So without taking much of time, I hand over this session to you, and I once again wholeheartedly welcome you to this session, and also thank you for readily accepting this invitation, sir. Over to you, sir.
Good afternoon, madam. Good afternoon, all the students. Thanks a lot for organizing this session. And as you said, it's really nice that so many students have joined the session. I hope they are benefited by it. So now let us first have a brief overview of the syllabus. All the students must have already completed their syllabus, and I hope they have already done revision of this paper. Still, just taking an overview, the unit 1 it comprises of the first chapter is Introduction to Operations Research, which covers topics like what is operations research, definition, its limitations, various techniques under operations research, where they are, what are the applications of the techniques, like that. Now, what I would like to do is I would like to go chapter by chapter, so students may note down what kind of questions are likely or what may be asked in the question paper. I hope we can say that with a certain degree of probability that say 70, 75%, 80% probability. No one can say 100% probability what will come, what will not come, but at least we can have a good idea of what can be expected. So chapter 1, students can expect some objective questions and maybe a short note of 5 marks or a theory question of 7 marks on what are the various techniques of OR or application areas of OR or limitations of OR. Okay, before that, if you take a brief look at the question paper pattern, the question 1 is the objective question. That is 3 types of questions are possible in that. The first is the MCQ, multiple choice, where 4 options are given and you have to select the correct option. Second type of question could be a true or false question, where statements are given and you have to identify whether the statement is true or false. And third type of question is the match the following question, where in a table the 2 columns are there, column X and column Y, or column A, column B, like that, and you have to match the correct alternatives. So from chapter number 1, you can expect some objective questions in question number 1. Question number 2, question number 3, and question number 4 are generally likely to be fully numerical questions. In that, you have an internal option like question number 2A and 2B, 8 and 7 marks, or Question number 2C and 2D, again 8 and 7 marks. So you can attempt either A and B or C and D, and they will all be numericals. Same with question number 3. Question number 3, again A and B numerical or C and D numerical. And question number 4, now here there are two possibilities. Either we will have a same pattern like A, B or C, D, where there may be a theory question along with a numerical question. So for example, if you say that question number A is a numerical question, then B could be theory. And again, if C is a numerical, then D could be theory. And in that case, if there is a theory question put in question number 4, then in that case, then question number 5, the first A part will be a case study of 15 marks. And the B part would be short notes, attempt any 3 out of 5. So this is one pattern, because question number 4 and question number 5, they can be arranged in 2 different ways. So this is like what I said just now. One possible combination is this, that in question number 4, you will have a theory of 7 or 8 marks and 1 numerical. So 1 theory, 1 numerical. And then in question number 5, you will have a case study of 15 marks, and alternative or choice for that will be short notes, attempt any 3 out of 5. The second possibility is question number 4 will be a fully numerical question. So it will be question number 4A, 7 mark, question number B, 8 marks, so 7 plus 8. Or question number C, 4C will be a numerical case study of 15 marks. So there will be no theory in question number 4, but in that case, question number 5 will be a full theory question. So if you refer the 2019 question paper, I hope most of you are having the textbook, and if you are using the textbook written by me, that is published by Vipul Prakashan, there are in the index you will find the appendix A, appendix B, appendix C is there. In that appendix C, the university question paper of October 2019 is given, which is the last offline exam conducted by university, because in 2020 and 21-22 the exams were online. So after October 2019, this is the first time that the offline exam of TYBMS operations research is going to be conducted. So we can take a benchmark as a benchmark. If you want, you can always refer to that October 2019 or April 2019 question paper. And in that, if you see the question paper, which is the last appendix C in the textbook, in that you will find that question number 5 was a full theory question. So the format of that question paper was like this, that question number 2 was full numerical, question number 3 was full numerical, and question number 4 was also fully numerical. And in question number 4, the case study was put for 15 marks. So maybe we can assume that the same format will be followed this year also, so that a question number 4 will be a full numerical, and in question number 5, we will be having a theory question. So question number 5, A and B, 2 theory questions of 8 plus 7, and alternative to that will be question number 4C, which will be short notes, attempt any 3 out of 5. So in general, we can say that this is the question paper format. So for a benchmark, you can always take October 2019 or April 2019 as the your reference point. Okay, now coming back to the syllabus. As I said, question number 1 is objective, and in chapter 1, the concepts of operations research, limitations, application areas, etc. So you can have one short note on that and some objective questions. The next chapter is then the linear programming starts. In unit number 1 is entire LPP, that is the linear programming. And as you know, there are 2 methods of solving: LPP simplex and LPP graphical. So you can expect at least 1 question of simplex and 1 question of graphical. Now there is a possibility that the simplex can come as a 15-mark case study. So that is why simplex is a very important chapter, and don't ignore that, because it is possible that either you will get a 7 or 8 marks numerical on simplex, or you may even have a 15-mark case study on simplex. Now always you can refer to the textbook Then in the textbook, the say a case study section is there. So if you see the chapter number 2 is about how to formulate the LPP. Very basic. You should know how to formulate LPP, like what are decision variables, what are objective functions, what are constraints. So these are the three basic parameters of LPP formulation. So you should study that, how to do formulation. And then chapter number 3 deals with the graphical method. Now you can expect one question on graphical method will definitely come in the paper, and graph papers are provided. So you can ask the supervisor for a graph paper, and then you can draw the graph and solve the question. Graphical is again two types of problems, either a minimization problem or a maximization problem. And again, okay, in addition to the textbook, you can also refer to the YouTube videos that in the textbook, there are the QR codes are given. You can scan the QR code and you will go to the YouTube site where I have uploaded my videos. So you can see from the video how to solve the question. So chapter number 3, graphical method. Okay, another thing I would like to say is when you are doing practice, and now only hardly 4-5 days are remaining. So don't try to solve some very difficult questions. You focus on only the university questions of last 3-4 years. Like for example, 2019, 2018, 2017 or 16. Don't go beyond that. So if you want to if you want to just revise and solve some basic level questions again for practice, you can solve questions from 2016 to 2019. I think that should be enough. So don't go in the very old papers like 2010, 11, 12, etc. Last 3 to 4 years question papers are sufficient. Okay, then again in the chapter number 3 in graphical, you can expect some theory questions or short notes. At the end of every chapter in the textbook, there are objective questions are given as well as theory questions are given, short notes are given. Like in graphical, for example, I am just saying there is something called infeasible solution. So what is the infeasible solution? Or there is something called unbounded solution. So what is unbounded solution? So the answers are given in the textbook. You can refer the textbook. The small graphs are there, graphical examples are there, and then the theory explanation is there. So when you are writing a 5-mark short note, you are expected to at least draw a rough sketch and then explain what is infeasible or what is unbounded solution, etc. So that is about graphical. Then coming to the next chapter, that is chapter number 4, simplex, a very important chapter because you may get a 15-mark case study on that. Again, here you are expected to get some theory questions also, like basic concepts can be asked, like what is key column, key row, key element, what is the slack variable, what is artificial variable, what is surplus variable. Okay, these are the basic fundamentals, or or what is the shadow price of a resource. Then there are 2 types of resources, scarce resource and abundant resource. So what are the types of resources, etc. So you may get a theory question on simplex or short note on simplex, also a case study on simplex. Again, I would like to advise you to see the videos on the YouTube so that you can perfect your method of solving simplex. Okay, it's not very difficult. I know that there are some people who find simplex very difficult, but if you follow the steps, it becomes quite easy for you. So unit number 1, we can say from chapter 1, you can have some objective questions, then you can have a short note. Chapter number 2 is formulation. So you may have a small question of 5 marks. A question will be given to you and you will be asked to do formulation of that. So that is also a possible question. Chapter number 3, graphical, one question will definitely come, either a minimization question or a maximization, one that you have to do practice. Chapter number 4, simplex. Again, a very important, and a case study can come on in that. A 15-mark case study is possible. So that is about unit number 1. Then when we go to unit number 2 has only 2 chapters. Chapter number 5 is transportation and chapter number 6 is assignment problems. Now transportation, a number of questions can be asked. First of all, transportation, as you know, that it is solved in 2 steps. First step is finding the initial feasible solution, that is the IFS. And there are 3 methods. One is northwest corner rule, which we generally do not use. Second is LCM, least cost method. And third is VAM, Vogel's approximation method, or what we call method of penalties, which is the most commonly used method because it is one of the best methods. So you should do more practice of VAM, because it is possible that a 7-mark question may come on VAM. Transportation problem will be given to you and you will be asked to find the IFS by VAM. It doesn't mean that you should ignore LCM and NWCR, but do more practice of VAM. And then the second stage, that is finding the optimal solution, that we use the modified distribution method, okay, or in short, what we call as the Modi method. So again, a very, very important concept. You must know how to calculate how to find the optimal solution using Modi method. In Modi method, the very basic first step is finding the U and V values. And many students make mistakes here in calculation of U and V. So do proper practice of finding U and V. And once you find U and V, and from there we find the delta, that is the opportunity cost. And if any delta is negative, then we have to draw a loop. And from the loop, we change the values. And in the next table, we write the new values. And again, we check it for U and V and for delta. And when we get all delta values as positive values, then we say that the solution is optimal. Okay, so in transportation, everything depends on our delta value, and delta value depends on U and V values. So if you make a mistake in U and V calculation, then your entire solution will go wrong. So that is why I'm saying do maximum practice of finding U, V, and delta, and also do practice of drawing the loop. Now in transportation, three different types of questions are possible. The first type of question is a transportation problem will be given to you. You will be asked to find IFS by VAM. And in second question, continuation of this, you will be asked to test that IFS for optimality by Modi method. And 99% the IFS that you find will be optimal itself. So there will be no looping. So this is the, we can say this is the first type of question. The second type of question is the solution will be already given to you. There will be a table, the IFS, the values will be given to you, and you will be asked to check whether this solution is optimal or not. And if not optimal, you will be asked to find the optimal solution. So the given solution will not be optimal. When you calculate the delta values, you will get some deltas as negative. Then from the highest negative delta, say for example, you get two negative values, say -5 and -2. So obviously the higher value is -5. So from -5, you will draw the loop. Then in next table, you will change the values. And in that table, again, you will calculate UV delta and you will get the optimal solution. So this is second type of question. And the third type of question is the case study. So in the case study, again, some table will be given to you with the solution. You will be asked to check whether it is optimal or not optimal. If not optimal, you will be asked to find the optimal solution. And then based on the optimal solution, there will be a number of conceptual questions, like, for example, infeasibility, degeneracy, etc. Now in transportation, this degeneracy is a very important concept. Even a theory question can be asked on degeneracy. What is degeneracy in transportation? So you must have done the study. You must be knowing that m plus n minus 1, we compare the number of allocations if they are less, then it means there is a degeneracy. So, but this kind of question will not come in a, you can say, it won't come in numerical, but it can come in theory. Like a short note maybe.
Students, please be patient. There is some technical problem at sir's end. Once the technical
Or
problem.
7. Hello.
Yes, sir. So you had gone on mute. I mean, there was a technical hitch, and Your video had stopped streaming, sir. Hello? Sir, are you able to hear me? There is a network issue at sir's end. Sir will be back in a few minutes. Please be patient. And I'm sure you must be finding this session quite informative. Up till now, sir has explained certain things, like he has covered what all things will be coming, what all concepts will be coming in question number 1. And then sir has also given an idea about chapter 1, what are the topics that you need to focus on. And sir has moved to chapter 2, and he was explaining about transportation. And in that also sir has given a number of aspects. So sir is back again. So I hand over the session to you, sir. Yes, sir.
Yeah. I hope I am audible.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. You're audible.
Yeah,
Sir.
there is some problem with connectivity.
No problem, sir. No problem.
Okay, so yeah, we were talking about transportation. As I explained, 3 types of questions are possible. One is the van question. Second type of question is the table is given to you, so no van is required. You directly calculate UV delta, and
There is a internet connectivity problem at sir's end, and that is the reason why uh, sir's network is not being getting connected. I'm sure this problem will be resolved from his end.
yeah, hello.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay, so that is about transportation. Then the next is the assignment problem, chapter number 6. This is very important for you because it's a very easy kind of problems. Assignment is one of the easiest topics in the OR syllabus, and you should give more attention to it. See, it's like when you are solving the paper, I would advise you to, instead of going in a sequence, you can go in the sequence like solving first question number 1, then question number 2, etc. But if you want to build confidence, it's always better that you solve the easy questions first. And if you look at the OR syllabus, in my opinion, 2 of the easiest topics is, one is assignment and second is game theory of games. So I would advise you to start with assignment or game theory. Another easy topic is sequencing, job sequencing. That is unit number 4. Unit number 4 is one of the easiest unit in this OR syllabus. So once you read the question paper, when you have the question paper, you just go through it. And if you want to maximize your attempt, then you start with the easy questions like assignment or game theory or sequencing, job sequencing. So that will give you more confidence that yes, now I have done an attempt of 20 marks, 30 marks, etc. Okay, so now talking about assignment. Again, 2 types of questions can be asked, either a minimization question or a maximization question. It's a very simple technique, the Hungarian method. You do row minimization, then you do column minimization, and then you see how many lines are there. And if the lines are not equal to the matrix size, then we make the changes in the matrix. And then again, we check for optimality by drawing the lines. So it's a very simple topic. So as assignment, you must get full marks in that and do good practice of assignment. It's like one of your lifeline, you can say, in securing good marks in OR. Okay, then we go to third unit, which is a very big unit. That is the CPM and PERT, the project management or networking, you can say, where we have to draw the network diagram. The basic fundamental of unit number 3 is network diagram. So if you cannot draw a network diagram, then you cannot solve any question from unit number 3. So do maximum practice of network diagrams. Now these network diagrams are of two types. So if you see the chapter number 7 from the textbook, and again, it is explained in the YouTube video. You can go to the YouTube video and see there how to draw the network. Now, these network diagrams are of two types. The data that is given. First type is quite easy. It is called node relationship or a node-based network, where the activities are given in terms of their nodes, like 1, 2, 2, 3, 3, 4, 3, 5, 5, 6, etc. So there it is very easy to draw the network. So because you don't have to apply any logic, the data is given directly to you. The second type of network is called precedence relationship, where activity is given and preceding activity is given. Say, for example, A and B dash dash. It means A and B are the starting activities. Then activity C, and for that preceding activity is given as A. It means C is coming after A. So now you have to apply logic, and you have to first draw a rough diagram. You have to construct a rough diagram and then check with the data whether your diagram is correct. And then you have to find the critical path and all other things. So you have to do practice of both the types of networks, node relationship as well as precedence relationship. If you get a node relationship question, you are lucky, because you don't have to apply much effort. You will get the network very easily. Now, talking of CPM, critical path method, first, the basic step is like draw the network diagram, find critical path, and find project completion time. So it's quite easy. And next, the CPM question will have calculation of EST, EFT, LST, LFT, like earliest start, earliest finishing time, latest starting, latest finishing time, etc. And then the calculation of floats. If you are not able to do preparation for all the types of floats, at least do preparation of total float, which is very easy. I mean, once you get the EST, EFT table, you just have to subtract LST minus EST, latest start time minus earliest start time. That will give you total float. So if you are not able to remember formulae for all the other types of floats, like free float is there, independent float is there, interfering float is there, then if you are not able to remember that, at least do the calculation for total float, LST minus EST. Very simple calculation. So one question will definitely come on CPM, the EST, EFT question. Going to the next, that is chapter number 8, project crashing. So again, we can expect one question on crashing. Crashing, you can see the YouTube video. I have explained there what are the steps of crashing. You can also study from the textbook. Okay, and then again, in this chapter number, unit number 3, many theory questions can be expected, because in networking, so many concepts are there. Like what is critical path, what is subcritical path, what are the different types of floats, what is slacks. So all these are basically conceptual questions can be asked, theory question can be asked. Then in project crashing, again, one theory question or one short note can be asked, that is called time cost trade-off. Time cost trade-off in project crashing, or time cost trade-off in CPM, you can say. Because as you know that in project crashing, there are two types of costs, direct cost and indirect cost. And as we start the crashing means a reduction. As we start the crashing process, direct cost increases and indirect cost reduces. And then we come to a certain point where you get a minimum total cost. Then that is what we call optimal cost. So the basic objective of project crashing is to find the optimal point. Okay, so that point where our cost is minimum. Minimum means optimal. And that point is called optimal project completion time. So the basic goal of crashing is to find optimal project cost and optimal project completion time. So one numerical will come, and you can also expect a theory question on crashing, a short note based on maybe a time cost trade-off in crashing, or what are the different types of costs in crashing. That is what we call cost behavior. Cost behavior means as we start crashing the project, direct cost increases and indirect cost reduces. So this you have to explain with the help of a diagram. Okay, going to chapter number 9, that is the PERT. Again, a very important topic, because the 15-mark case study can come on PERT. So when we talk of 15-mark case study, there are 3 chapters out of which case study can come. First is simplex, LPP simplex. Second is transportation, and third is PERT. So the case study will be based on either any of these, one of these 3 topics. So PERT, again, it's not so difficult. You just have to remember some formulae. In PERT, the 3 time estimates are given to you for all activities: optimistic time, most likely time, and pessimistic time. If you are lucky, in the exam, they will directly give you the expected time. Otherwise, you will have to calculate the expected time using the formula. That is TE, the TE value, that is the expected time value, that is equal to A plus 4N plus B divided by 6. So if you are lucky, the TE value will be directly given to you. So read the question carefully, whether TE value is given to you or not. If given, don't waste your time in thinking how to calculate. Okay, just take the value direct. Same with the standard deviation and variance, the variance of each activity and standard deviation of each activity. So again, if you are lucky, the paper setter may give to you directly the values. If not, then you have to calculate the value using the formula. So the first step in PERT is always the tabulation of TE value, that is the expected time value, and the SD and variance. If it is given directly to you, then you can save some time in that. Then you can start drawing the network diagram. So you have to remember that in PERT, when we draw the network diagram, we have to utilize the TE value, okay, the expected time value. And then you find the critical path and then find the expected project completion time. And then you have to find the variance of the project and standard deviation of the project. And once you get the standard deviation of the project, then you can go to the case study questions, which are based on probability. And you must have solved questions in the classroom based on the probability. And that chart you must have used, the probability chart, the normal probability table. That table will be provided in the examination. It generally it is printed on the last page of the paper. So PERT, again, a very important topic because 15-mark case study is possible on PERT. And then when we go to the last unit, that I'm saying that last unit is your lifeline. Along with the assignment question, assignment problem, that last unit is your lifeline in OR, which is job sequencing and this theory of games, game theory. Job sequencing, two types of questions. Generally, you can expect two questions in the question paper. First is the 2-machine problem, and second is a 3-machine problem. And both the types of questions are generally covered in the question paper. And in theory of games, again, a very, very easy topic where you just have to calculate maximin and minimax values. And maximin and minimax, they will generally be equal to each other. That is what we call saddle point. So if maximin is equal to minimax, then you say that yes, the saddle point is there, and then you find the value of the game. It's a very, very easy topic. There is one more, you can say, topic in that game theory, that is called method of dominance or principle of dominance. So that also I will advise you to study. So you may not get a numerical based on principle of dominance, because they see there are two ways in which you can solve a game theory question. First is maximin minimax method, and second is the dominance method. So generally the numerical is asked generally on maximin minimax method, and on dominance method you can expect a theory question. But it doesn't mean that you should ignore dominance method. Do practice of dominance also. Maybe you will get a numerical on dominance. Okay, so I believe that in general we have covered the syllabus. I have told you what type of questions expected, what is the weightage per chapter, case study generally from either LPP simplex or transportation or PERT, and question paper pattern also we have discussed. So now whatever queries if you have, you are free to ask. So this is the basic information I have given from my side.
Sir, I'm sure, sir, thank you so much, sir. You have covered major concepts, and in a very short span of time, you have covered a lot of aspects. So there are certain questions, like one of the student has asked, can you explain simplex method more in detail?
Actually, it is not possible verbally to explain the, you can say, the algorithm of simplex. In general, but that's why I said it's better you go through the video, you see the video, because there each step is explained, and what is the advantage is that you can pause it, you can just revise. Okay, if a particular step you don't understand, just see it again. I will just explain the stepwise. Like in what we do in simplex is basically when the LPP that question is given, you first step is convert the standard form. So in the first step in simplex, you have to write the standard form. After you write the standard form, then you convert that standard form data in simplex table. Now, how to convert that data in the simplex table? It is practically impossible to explain verbally. It has to be done on a blackboard only. So for that, it is advisable that students see the video. So there, the concept will be very clear, because simplex, those calculations are such that it is practically impossible to explain it verbally. Because normally my experience is that when I teach simplex in a classroom, the first problem that I teach, it takes almost more than 1 hour. The first basic problem. So it goes beyond one lecture of 45-50 minutes. It takes almost one and a half lecture because it has to be done very slowly. So that's why I will advise you to see the video so that your algorithm becomes very clear. So what is key, how to find key column, how to do calculation for key row, what is key element. After that, how to write the next table, how to do calculations for the next table. All this you have to see actually on the blackboard. So verbally, it's not possible to explain that. I can just tell you, okay, yes, step 1 is convert in standard form. Then you write the first simplex table. After you write the first simplex table, calculate all delta values. Then you will get a key column. Then you will get a key row. And then you have to write the next table. Okay, so these are the basic steps. But the details you have to see on the blackboard only.
Sir, I'm sure the students have lot of questions, and a lot of questions are coming on the live the thing also, stream also. Sir,
Yeah.
the students have asked, like, how do we rate the chapters on the level of difficulty? Like, you have already explained in the thing that you have to concentrate on these chapters, but still, I think some students have joined in late. So that is the reason they have been asking this question. So if possible, can you just rate the difficulty level of the chapter, sir?
See, again, the difficulty level will vary from student to student. But in general, unit number 4, chapter number 10, job sequencing, and chapter number 11, theory of games, I consider them to be very easy. And unit number 2, chapter number 6, assignment problems, again, I consider that to be very easy. So that's why I said that any average student, see, those who are intelligent, very good at mathematics, and very fast in working, they are okay with, I think, all the chapters. But suppose someone not good at maths or someone not good at calculation, so that kind of student, I will advise you start with game theory. So you solve the game theory question because very less calculation in that. Then again, you can solve assignment question. After that, you can solve the job sequencing question. So these are the, you can say, very low on difficulty side. After that, if in unit number 3, the CPM question, if the network is given in the node format, like 1, 2, 1, 3, 2, 4, 2, 5, etc., there you don't have to think much. You can directly draw the network. So again, then that becomes a very easy question. If the node network is given, if the network is given like for A, B, C, D like that, and the preceding activity column is given, then it becomes slightly complicated to draw the network diagram. But if node network is given, then it becomes very easy, because normally what happens is, in a 7 or 8 mark question, the distribution of marks is such that 4 marks are only for drawing the network diagram, 3 marks, maybe 3 or 4, for drawing the network diagram and finding the critical path. So if the student can draw network diagram using that node relationship and find a critical path, then he is assured of at least 3 or 4 marks. So that again becomes quite easy. If now the more difficult questions on a higher side of difficulty, I will say simplex, obviously, LPP simplex, and transportation, because transportation is time consuming. It takes a lot of time. Again, project crashing is time consuming. So in my opinion, project crashing, simplex, and transportation, the Modi method, they are time consuming and slightly higher on a difficulty side. Graphical LPP, graphical method, I consider it to be medium difficulty level. If the formulation is directly given to the students, then it becomes very easy for them to draw the graph. See, what happens in unit number 1 in LPP, students are likely to make mistakes in LPP formulation itself at the very first level. So there, if you make a mistake at very first level, then whatever you do afterwards is bound to be incorrect. So suppose it's a 8 mark question and a student has made a mistake in formulation in writing the constraints, then it becomes quite difficult and it becomes very rather meaningless to solve the question, because whatever answer you are going to find, it has to be wrong only because you have made a mistake at the very basic level. So that is why I said, if the formulation is directly given to you in the question paper, then it becomes an easy question. If you have to do the formulation, if it is given like a case, if it is given in the text format, the data is given in a text format, and you have to convert the data in that LPP formulation, then slightly difficult, but not very difficult. I mean, if you see the last 3-4 years papers, extraordinarily difficult questions are not asked. All the questions are either on a easier side or a lower or medium level of difficulty.
So in short, what I would recommend to the students is that you cannot, for this subject at least, you cannot have a last minute preparation. This subject requires a continuous practice, and it is not like that last day of your paper, you are on the day of your paper, D-day of your paper, you pick up your book and then you start reading.
Yeah, definitely, because it's a mathematics.
Yes, correct. Sir, one student has asked that float time calculation, he finds it difficult. So any easy method of solving? Sir, by any chance you have any YouTube link on that float time calculation?
Floats.
Yes, sir.
Float, no, unfortunately, there is no YouTube video on floats. I didn't get the time to record that video. In that chapter, that floats comes under CPM, chapter number 7. In chapter number 7, I have done video only on networking, how to construct the network. I have not done a video on calculation of EST, EFT, floats, etc. So due to time constraint, it was not possible.
Okay.
But they can see a solved problem in the textbook. In the CPM chapter, there is a detailed calculation is explained stepwise. I will try to give you a number. Just give me a minute. If the students are referring the current edition, that the one which has the QR codes mentioned in that, in chapter number 7 on page number 287, there is section 7.8, time estimates in network analysis. In that, there is a question is given, a numerical question is given, illustration is there, that is example number 16 on page number 289, and in that it is explained more in detail how to calculate forward pass, backward pass, EST, EFT, and even the float calculation is also given in that. The slack calculation is given and the float calculation is also given in that. So if the students refer that example, which is a solved example and illustration, because all the steps are explained in that, I think at least some of the difficulty can be solved.
Thank you, sir. Sir, one of the students has asked, apart from the sums, can you suggest some important theory questions on which they can focus on?
Yeah, that's what I said. Like I have discussed it. Like when I was talking chapter wise, I said that in graphical method there are topics like infeasibility, infeasible solution, unbounded solution in graphical. Then in transportation, what is a degeneracy in transportation? How to remove the degeneracy? Then in assignment, there can be a question: what the algorithm of solving an assignment problem? The Hungarian method, the algorithm of Hungarian method. Then CPM part, there are lots of theory questions are possible because it's quite so many concepts are there. So for that, they have to refer the textbook, and at the end of the chapter, many short notes, many questions are given with answers. Then in the job sequencing, again, concepts are there, like what is the job sequence, what is processing order, what is processing time, what is elapsed time, what is idle time. All these concepts, they itself become a theory question combinedly. So again, I will advise them to go to the textbook, and at the end of the textbook, the concept questions are given. So you at least go through some of the easy questions, whatever easy you find, at least go through that, because theory is very important. And like I said, if the question pattern of question paper is like 2019, so in 2019, question number 5 was entirely theory. Like it was A and B, 7 and 8 marks of theory, and the option was short notes. So if you are not preparing theory, then you lose out on entire question number 5. So 15 marks you will lose out on straight away. So that is why at least go through some easy topics for each chapter, and they are given in detail in the textbook. The problem with the OR is like that. In other subjects, you can read the theory and memorize the theory. But in OR, you can't do that. You know, it's a mathematical subject. So you first need to understand how to solve a problem. And once you understand how to solve a problem, then it becomes easier to memorize the theory. So you can't just mug up the theory word to word. You won't understand anything. So that's why first focus on solving the problem, get the method correct. Once you understand the method and the algorithm of solving a problem, then when you read theory, it becomes very easy for you. So first solve the problem, then read the theory. Don't go in the reverse way.
So will the students, will it be beneficial for the students if they follow the 2018 and 19
Yeah, I think in
pattern?
my
Will that be
opinion,
sufficient?
yes, my opinion, last 3 years are enough. 17, 18, 19 is sufficient.
Because I'm sure most of the students, they must be a bit tense because all of a sudden after the corona,
Yes, yes.
they'll be giving.
Yeah, they have not written any paper in first and second year.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
And in say now the same 5 results already so much delayed.
Yes,
Is
sir.
declared just now. They must have realized their limitations by now.
Yes, sir. Yes.
Because this batch, I know they have certain limitations.
So a number of questions actually that are getting popped up in this thing session are that whether the paper pattern will be easy. In your opinion, what would be the paper pattern? Like whether it will be easy or it will be hard?
A paper pattern, when you say, in my opinion, the pattern would be more on the 2019 basis.
Okay.
Yeah, that is my estimate, my judgment, you can say. No one can say for certainty, but my estimate is that if they see the 2019, April 19 and October 19, I think the paper pattern would be like that, where the question number 2, 3, and 4 are numerical questions, and question number 5 is a theory question. Talking of whether easy or difficult, it again depends on students how much prepared they are. No, so a paper which is easy for someone may be very difficult for someone else,
Correct.
depending on their understanding of the subject.
Correct.
So we can't say, like, it may be like someone finds simplex very easy. I have seen students who find simplex very easy, and they do it very fluently. They do it very quickly. And then there are students who find it, no, we don't understand this. What is standard form? What is key column? What is key row? All these things we can't understand. So it differs from student to student. So that is why we have identified a common like benchmark, like what are the easy topics. So it is my experience that all the students say that yeah, game theory is easy. All the students say that yeah, assignment is easy. So you focus on that. See, it's simple. 7 marks of assignment, 7 marks of game theory, that makes it 14 marks. 7 marks of job sequencing, a simple 2-machine problem. So again makes it 21 marks. Plus 15 marks of objectives, that makes it 36 marks. So if you get this thing right, so we are very frankly speaking, the first target should be 30 marks. 30 out of 75, if you reach, you are mentally comfortable that yes, I am clearing the web. So that is the simple mathematics. 7 marks of game theory, 7 marks of assignment, and 7 marks of job sequencing. That makes it 21 marks. So if you solve these three questions right, you are assured of 21 marks. So now you need only 9 marks for passing. And those 9 marks will come from objectives. Because obviously there will be a lot of helping around going on. We observe that in the examination. But I will again advise you, don't depend on your friends. Sometimes what you know is the right answer, and you ask your friend and he will tell you the wrong answer. So you will lose marks there. So that is why, talking of clearing the paper, I will say start with game theory, assignment, and job sequencing. Solve those 3 questions. Solve the objective questions. So at least you know that yeah, now I can clear the paper. After that, you are on your own. You solve anything you want. So that would be my recommendation as a strategy for the paper. But it can change.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. So I'm sure you have given them a lot of tips. And so one question has come is how to convert LPP formulation into equation.
That is what we call standard form. That is the standard form. You have a formulation. Say, for example, there is a constraint 2x1 plus 3x2 less than or equal to 100. So this is a constraint. Now you want to convert that in an equation. So you have to add a slack variable in that. So you say 2x1 plus 3x2 plus s1 equal to 100. So that s1 you are adding, that is the slack variable. So converting is just adding a slack variable. That is what you call standard form. So for that you can see in the video. The simplex video is there and it's quite in detail. The only video that I have not been able to make is the CPM that you ask the floats, the float calculation, that EST, EFT, and float. That video is not there on my channel. Otherwise, all the videos are there in detail.
Sir, one question, one student I asked is, can we skip the graph paper and draw the graph in the answer sheet?
Yes, no problem in that. You can draw, because all that the examiner is interested in is in seeing whether your solution is correct or not. You can draw the graph in the answer sheet using a scale. Take a scale, do the markings of 1 centimeter, on x-axis and y-axis, draw the graph there and do all calculations there only. No problem. So you don't lose any marks for that.
Okay.
So that is quite okay.
Okay. Sir, how much marks are there for project crashing?
Crashing will come either for 7 marks or 8 marks. So one question.
Okay.
Crashing they can skip if they want, because on crashing there will be no case study on crashing. Crashing can come only as a numerical of 7 or 8 marks. So if someone finds crashing difficult, then skip it. Don't spend your time on it. So at last moment, you need not waste your time on that. You can do some easy topics.
Okay. Sir, and one question that has been repeatedly coming is, sir, are there any other loops than 4 and 6?
No. There is a very complicated loop, and it used to come a long time back. 15-year back question paper, you will find that loop. It's called a diamond shaped loop, but it won't come now. So it's now just only a normal 4-corner loop, which is a square or rectangle, or a 6-corner loop that is like a L. Only 2 types of loops are
Sir,
there.
and of course, one repeated question is, are there marks for the steps? Sir, this, or if you
There are.
Yes.
There are marks for the steps, and in if you see the earlier question papers, some of the questions, the marks are divided. Like for example, I will just tell you, in the 2019 question paper, we will just see just an example. Now, for example, if you take an assignment problem or a theory of game problem, assignment problem, if you take, then the marks are directly 7 marks. So now it depends on the examiner how he divides the marks. So there is no guarantee for that. But in some of the questions, the marks are the bifurcation is given. Like for example, in a graphical method or a simplex method or in assignment, the division of marks is not given in the question paper. Only final marks are given, 7 marks or 8 marks. So it is up to the examiner. Okay, agar koi student, if he has left the question in between, halfway, how much to give? 2, 3, 4. Now that becomes a subjective question for the examiner. So someone may give 2 marks, someone may give 3 marks, someone may give 4 marks, depending on how much the student has done. Sometimes it happens, like for example, say simplex. The student has written the standard form. Okay, so I will give 1 mark for standard form. After that, they have written the first table. That is also correct. Okay, 2 more marks. If it is a 8-mark question. And they have made a mistake in the calculation. So their second table is wrong and final answer is wrong. And it is a 8-mark question. So the student will end up getting maximum 3 marks. But the bifurcation is not given in the question. That bifurcation is the judgment of the examiner. So it is very subjective there. But sometimes if you see the question, like in 2019, if you see that there's a question on CPM, there's a job sequencing question in front of me, question number 2B, that there are 7 different products in a machine shop and time is given, etc., etc. And there the bifurcation is very clear. 4 sub questions are there, and for 4 sub questions, it is given 2, 3, 1, 1. So first question, find sequence of products, 2 marks. Second question, find total elapsed time, 3 marks. Third question, calculate the idle time for machine 1, 1 mark. Fourth question, calculate idle time for machine 2, 1 mark. It is very clear. So here, there is no subjectivity. So the examiner knows how much marks to give for which step. But when the marks are not bifurcated, then it becomes very subjective. And second thing, if your calculation is not correct, if you have made a mathematical error, then you will not get marks for steps. Marks you will get only up to that level, till the level your calculation is correct. Once you have made a mistake in calculation, whatever you write after that, for that you will not get marks. So that the student has to keep in mind.
Sir, one question is, can we skip PERT or simplex?
At your own risk. You can skip 50% of syllabus. So that is at your own risk. So like I said, see, suppose you skip simplex. Okay. And what if simplex comes for 15-mark case study? Then compulsorily you have to write some other question, which is the option. And suppose you don't know that how to solve that question, then your question entire 15 is gone. So that is why I will advise, don't skip simplex, PERT, and transportation. These are the 3 topics you should not skip, because they are likely to come in case study. And even if they don't come in case study, guaranteedly another questions will come on that topic. So if simplex does not come in case study, you will get an 8-mark simplex question somewhere in the paper. If PERT does not come in the case study, you will get a 8-mark question on PERT in some question. Same with transportation. You will get some question in transportation, if not in case study. So these 3 topics you should not skip. And the other 3 topics which are easy, that game theory, assignment, and job sequencing, that you have to do first preparation at the beginning only. That is your first attempt. And then I will say go to transportation, PERT, and simplex. Actually, PERT need not be skipped at all because PERT is a very easy question. Once you understand how to apply the formula, how to do calculation of expected time, standard deviation, and variance, after that, and if you understand how to read that probability table that is given in the paper, then PERT is a very easy question actually. So those who don't understand PERT, I will advise them see the video on YouTube. It is properly explained there how to do the PERT calculation. You will be comfortable with PERT.
Sir, one very big long question has come. I'll just read it out to you.
Yeah, sure.
Sir, how to identify if it's less than equal to or more than equal to while converting paragraph linear programming, and also how to generate the decision variables and objective functions from paragraph.
Okay, fine. There is a video, chapter number 2. If you open up the textbook, chapter number 2, there is a QR code. Scan QR code, scan it. You will go to the video. In the video, it is properly explained all the 3 questions that are asked in this. There are 3 questions asked in this. First is how to identify the decision variables. Second is asked how to find the objective function. And third, that less than and greater than, that is what we call constraints. But I will give the answer in brief, but for more detail, see the video, your concept will be clear. First thing, how to identify the decision variables. It is very simple. Generally, decision variables are related with products. So if a company produces 2 products, say alpha and beta, then your decision variables are alpha and beta. Say X1 is alpha and X2 is beta. That is the first hint. Second, read the paragraph. Wherever profit or cost is given, that is your decision variable. So suppose if a company produces 2 foods, F1 and F2, cost of F1 is so and so and cost of F2 is so and so. So you know that your variables are F1 and F2. That is answer number 1. Answer number 2, objective function. Now objective function can be of 2 types, maximization or minimization, max Z or min Z. If profit is given, it is max Z. If cost is given, it is min Z. And third question that you asked, how to identify whether it is less than or equal to or greater than or equal to. Now every constraint has a numerical value given in it, which is a constant. Say for example, a company is utilizing 2 resources, machines and labor, and availability of machine and labor is 100 and 200. Now you have to concentrate on this word. The word is availability. Now availability, now see, this is a limit, and the limit is of 2 types, either a upper limit or a lower limit. If the limit is a upper limit, say for example, availability or capacity, which is the upper limit. So if capacity is 100, then it means you cannot utilize more than 100, obviously. That is the upper limit. In that case, the sign is less than. So ask the question yourself, is this the highest value or the lowest value? If it is the highest value, the sign is less than. If I say minimum to 20 units are to be utilized, now minimum means lower value. It is the lowest value. So in that case, the sign will be greater than. So if the limit that is given is the highest limit, the sign should be less than. And if the limit is the lowest limit, the sign should be greater than. These are the basic fundamentals. But for more details, see the video. All this is explained there in detail. But basic answer I have given.
Thank you, sir. I think you have answered a majority of the questions that have been asked by the students. A few of the questions are like, do they need to write the complete sentences for the objective question?
No, not necessary. I don't think so.
And one question is asked is that in the theory aspect, you have already told about this, that in the theory answers, their understanding is more important, and how they put across that understanding is
exactly. Don't write long stories. No one reads the long stories.
Correct. And like some students have asked that whether we need to insert all the technical words and technicalities that is mentioned in the textbook.
Yeah, it is better that you use as much technical words as possible, because this is a technical subject. So you need to understand the terminology of that. Whatever chapter you are studying, every chapter has a basic terminology. Like if you are studying linear programming, decision variable, objective function, constraint, this is a terminology. If you are studying CPM PERT, critical path, subcritical path, float, It is a terminology. So you have to understand the terminology of the topic. So that is very important. And in theory questions also, instead of writing long answer, write it point wise, because the examiner is not interested in reading all the long answers, and it doesn't matter. You can write 5 points, and if they are correct, you will get 5 out of 5. Or you may write 2 pages, and if it is not correct, you will end up getting 0 out of 5. So length of the answer is not important. The quality of the answer is important.
Correct. Correct. Sir, as our session is like how to crack the operations research paper. So on that, I'm sure you have given a lot of tips to the students, and within a short span of time, you have explained, I mean, the entire textbook, actually, I would say. You have covered all the important concepts. You have given them ideas and tips that how they can cover the subject even now, because they still have a few days time before
Yeah,
they
still
start
there
their
are
exam.
5 days are there. Yes.
Yes, yes. So this last minute preparation can definitely help. And I'm so thankful to you that, sir, today, because of this live session, we have been able to reach so many students. Within the four walls of a classroom, you would have been able to reach only a few students. But
Yeah,
due to
right.
this live
Correct.
session, a number of students have been benefited from this session. And sir, on behalf of sir and on behalf of S.S.T College of Arts and Commerce, I would request all the students to fill in the feedback link that has been shared on the YouTube link. We have shared the feedback form. Your feedback would be very important to us. And
Yeah,
if
yeah.
you people,
Yeah. I will say the same thing to students. Do give the feedback, and you can forward the feedback to me also on my mail if you want, so
definitely,
that I will
definitely,
also come to know what they expect and what more they would have wanted, etc.
definitely,
We do have
definitely.
a time limitation. We have done almost 1 hour. We have completed, I believe. Yeah, three
Yes,
o'clock we started.
yes, sir. So one
Yeah.
one question has come. If value of replacement ratio is same, so which value is to be considered?
Such question will not come.
Okay.
Yeah, that is called degeneracy in simplex. What happens there is, yes, but this can come as a concept question. It will not come in a numerical. A very good question. It means the student has done some study. Otherwise, this doubt won't come to his mind. Uh, this used to come a long time back. Like I said, some 2005, 2006 question paper. If you see such type of question, you will find even in the textbook. Even in my textbook, such question is there. But in your exam, I don't expect such question to come. If at all it comes, uh, take that where you select that row where you get a higher key element. Suppose you take first row, key element is 10. You take second row, key element is say 5. So take 10. Okay, so select the higher key element. But I don't think 99% chance this question will not come. But theory question can come. What is degeneracy in simplex? So this is degeneracy in simplex, that the ratio is same for both the rows. So it means for one incoming variable, there are two outgoing variables. So that is why one variable becomes less, because two variables go out and one comes in. So one variable reduces. That is called degeneracy in simplex. So theory question may be asked on this.
Thank you, sir. I think all the doubts, whatever the students have asked, I have been able to communicate the same to you. Once again, from the bottom of my heart, I would like to thank you for giving us your valuable time and explaining all the concepts to the students in the best possible way. I would like to thank the management of S.S.T College of Arts and Commerce for always encouraging us and always asking us to take up such initiatives which will help, which will be the benefit of the students. Once again, I would like to thank Professor Nitin Kulkarni, sir, for giving his valuable time. Professor Nitin Kulkarni, sir, is associated with Viva College, and sir has graciously accepted our invitation, and he has conducted this live session on such a short notice for the benefit of the students. I would request all the students to please share in your feedback so that we can also always, improve ourselves. And sir, I'm very glad to share this that during the last semester also we had invited Professor Vikram Sotri sir, and he had shared his valuable tips
Yes, yeah,
on.
Vikram sir, he's a very senior person. Yes, we are
Yes, sir, sir.
very old friends.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, he's
So
an expert in logistics,
yes,
and
sir.
he's very good at war also, no doubt.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. So it is our good fortune that we were able to bring such great personalities on our platform, and we could deliver this session to all the students. Once again, wholeheartedly I thank you, sir. And I would also like to thank the technical support team of SST College of Arts and Commerce for arranging this session, and we have been able to reach more than 700 plus students. So it is indeed a good number for us, and also it is very encouraging for us. Thank you, students. Last but not the least, I would like to thank all the students for wholeheartedly participating in this session, asking so many questions.
Yeah, they had good questions.
Yes, sir. And still some more questions are coming up, but due to the shortage of time,
If you
we would
feel
not-
anything is critical, you may ask. We can take one or two if you want.
Sir, like there are certain questions, like in some question, key element is also there. One question student has asked, I'm not sure what exactly he wants to say, but it has come that in some questions, key element is also same, sir. What does I would request the student.
Key element can't be same. There is only one key element because it is the intersection value of key column and key row. What he must be wanted to know is how to decide the key column. If suppose you have two equal values for the key column, then which key column to take? So in that case, you can take any one. But key element is there is only one value. So there is no question of being same because it's an intersection value.
Sir, and in the paper, what is more weight? What weightage is given? Like marks are given more for the sums or for the theory? One question has come from the student.
It's like, see, 45 marks of numerical, because if you say question number 2, question number 3, question number 4, they are numerical. So 15 into 3, 45 marks of numerical, and question number 5 is theory. So 15 marks of theory. So that makes it 60, and 15 marks of objectives. So total 75. So 15 objective, 15 theory, and 45 numericals.
Thank you, sir. Your tips, I'm sure all the students, if they would, it would be very beneficial for them. You have given them all the tips for solving their paper. That is the main theme of our this session. That is how to crack your operations research paper. So in the shortest span of time, we have tried to bring the best to all of you all. And we hope to bring to you more such sessions for you. Do stay connected with us. And once again, I wholeheartedly thank Professor Nitin Kulkarni, sir, for sparing his time and conducting this session. Thank you so much.
Yeah. Thanks to all of you also, and thanks to madam and the technical support. They did a nice job. It was a nice experience, and I hope it helps all the students who have attended this, and all the best to them for their exams.
Thank you, sir.
So let's hope we get a good result in OR.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Definitely, they will get a good result because they have taken in efforts, and now their efforts we'll be seeing that in their paper. So I'm sure the students will follow all your tips, and they will be able to write their paper more easily.
Yeah, thank you very much.
Thank you, sir. Thank you so much. Last but not the least, I would like to once again request all the students to please fill in the feedback forms which has been displayed on the YouTube channel. I will be also circulating it to your teachers group so that it can reach you. Please fill in the feedback forms and do stay connected with us. I would once again, I would like to thank the management, Dr. J.C. Purswani, founder principal of SST College of Arts and Commerce, and IQAC coordinator, Dr. Khushbu Purswani, madam, for encouraging us for this session. Thank you so much. And from SST College, I once again thank you. Stay connected. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.